Business essentials. Um, I want to cover some of the basic things that you should have set up for your company before these are some of the basics that you want to have set up before you even start reaching out to the community looking for clients, hiring, anything like that. You want to have the proper business structure and setup for your company can be legit and licensed and have your corporation set up and your accounts and things of that nature. So the first thing I would suggest doing is creating an organizational chart for your company. And what we like to use is mind maps. I'm going to link a video for the org chart that we did years ago, and that helped us kind of outline our vision for our company. So I'll link that in the description below. But then also we like to use mind maps for setting out goals and things like that. Once you see how the organizational chart is set up, you can also see how, and I'll put some images as well for the goal map, so you can just kind of see exactly what we're referring to. But basically, you want to set your goals 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, 25 year, 50 year, 100 years. You know, like, and I know that seems like kind of crazy to a lot of people, but if you're looking at a company and you want to build something that's going to be sustainable, you want to lay the foundation correctly, and you're only going to get as far as your vision can see. So if you don't plan to be in existence 5 years from now, your chances are your company won't be in existence 5 years from now. We started selling, we created our goal map early on, maybe 11 years ago, and we didn't have anything. We didn't have any company, nothing, but we just started creating these goals, these long-term goals, and now here 10 years later, we're actually hitting our marks. And it's really, it's no science to it, it's no spookism or, the secret or visualization. It's just having an idea, being dead set on getting it done, and just being relentless year in and year out, making sure we're sticking to it, we're not deviating, we're not being sidetracked by other things and other shiny new business opportunities, and we're just staying focused and consistent to what we're doing. That's the point in creating a goal map and having those long-term visions. Again, the org chart and the goal map will add some images and a link to the video where I kind of walked through the org chart a few years ago. LLC, your corporate entity. Most companies most small businesses and new entrepreneurs, can go get an LLC pretty easily, or set up an S corp depending on your situation. Now, my accountant moved us from an LLC to an S corp for tax purposes, because once we started making a certain amount of money, it didn't make sense for us to stay as an LLC when we needed more flexibility that the S corp provided, as far as us becoming actual employees for our company. When you're LLC, it's just you're just the owner of this entity. When you get when you start making more money and taxes get a little bit more complicated, you're going to need to have an expert guide you in a direction into what's best for you. We went into an S corp, and that was directly related to our accountant's advice. So that's why we did that. But definitely make sure you have an LLC, an S corp, or whatever. But consult an accountant to figure out what's best for you and your situation. Everybody's situation is different. So there's no blanket one thing to do. Just make sure you consult an expert. I would suggest in most cases, the LLC is pretty good to get started with. When you think about banking and business banking, and getting a business account, I've seen credit unions. I see credit unions, and I'm actually in the Navy Federal Credit Union. Have been a lot more business friendly than other banks, like big banks like Bank of America. Some of these bigger banks, they're just not as friendly to us as bank credit unions or community banks, small community banks that's in your backyard. That they don't have millions of branches and billions of dollars. They're just small community branches banks or credit unions. They're just a lot more friendly when it comes to setting up your business accounts, and also providing you with banking assistance when you might need loans, different things like that. Uh, these smaller banks are more willing to work with you. Credit unions are more willing to work with you, opposed to like the bigger corporations, the bigger, Bank of America. They looking at you, you're small, but they don't need you, so they don't take you serious. They don't appreciate you as a small company. But these credit unions and these small community banks, they appreciate the business because, again, they're like mom and pop shops. Well, not the credit unions, but the community banks, and they appreciate all their customers a little more because that's where they actually get their value from. Uh, an EIN number is just it's like a social security number for your business that you register with the with the IRS. It's a real simple process on the IRS website. You want to get it so you can't even open up a business account without it. It's like your company's social security number, pretty much. So your company's registered with the IRS. So when they start doing taxes and stuff like that, you want to make sure you got the state business license, and that's not the license to do home care or license to set up an assisted living. That's just a license from your state to do business. In some states, and some places even have city, county license. So make sure you're licensed at every level to do business in your community. QuickBooks, we discussed a little bit at Top Advisors. You want to get your if you get a CPA, your CPA usually is there to help you set it up and also walk you through it, because it's a pretty complex software in the beginning, and it can be daunting when you start to just see all the different sales and variables and different options within this QuickBooks program. They make it as simple as possible, but finances is definitely something that could get could get frustrating and daunting and overwhelming. But you got to learn it. It's money. It's about your money. At the end of the day, you want to know your money more than anything else. You want to know where every dime is, how much you spend it, how much profits you making, where's it going, where's the waste, and you always want to be optimizing and to get a quick look at what what your business looks like, the strength, weaknesses, and the vision, and the potential moving forward. You want to have QuickBooks set up so you can understand where you are financially in all times. And I say this is a business essential because you want to get this set up before you start even doing business. The worst thing you could do is like what we did. We got 3 years in, and then went back and tried to, incorporate QuickBooks, or eventually went and incorporated QuickBooks. Our CPA set it up. We had to pay way more extra money because we were, they had to do some backdated stuff to get all our information updated into the system. So I would suggest doing it in the beginning, so you don't have to go back and do it later. But it's been very helpful, and it allows you to grow in a professional way. And if you ever need a quick financial snapshot of where you are, for maybe to get a loan or a partnership, or even thinking about selling your company, you can always know your actual value by having, a real, a snapshot of your finances at any time, so you can know exactly where you are. Payroll Services. First place I would start is your bank. See what they offer. The credit union, they offer different packages. Community banks, all your banks, usually big and small, offer some type of payroll service, and it might be the best bet for you based on your situation and the bank that you're working with. So check with your bank first. ADP is another service that also offers payroll services that I've been hearing a lot of companies have been using. QuickBooks also has a service as well, and it's connected to Bill.com. And so QuickBooks and Bill.com, they merge, or what's the word where you can the apps link together, so you can use QuickBooks and Bill.com to pay employees and private contractors and such like that. And they do the payroll services through QuickBooks. And then Gusto's another one. And Gusto even has insurance options, if health insurance options, if you want to also provide insurance to your employees or your staff or your caregivers or whoever. So, but getting your payroll service set up in advance, just to have everything linked. You don't have to be actually doing payroll yet, but just to have your account set up and linked, and know when the funding it needs to be ready, and the setup, so you can once you do start hiring caregivers and people like that or staff members, they can go straight into the system. It'll be a smooth transition, and you just get this your payroll set up really quickly. You don't want to wait until you got a caregiver or a client and or a staff member, and then try to hurry up and find a payroll service. Do this in the beginning. This is a business essential that I would suggest getting set up sooner than later. And then finally, insurance, bond, and workman's comp. Usually, the insurance and the bond, you can go through like we like the Solutions Group. They're really familiar with home care, home health care, and assisted living, so they can be really helpful. They're called the Solutions Group, and you can just Google them, Solutions Group. Home care insurance, and they should come up, or just put Solutions Group insurance. And they also provide insurance for small assisted livings. They don't do the bigger ones, but they can provide a policy for your smaller assisted livings as well. So not only can they insure your home care service, they can also do small assisted livings as well. And most of the times their bonds they have a bond packaged up in their insurance policy. So that's another thing that you can that you want to have set up, insurance, bond, and then workman's compensations program. Usually, you could get workman's comp through a local insurance company in your area, and just go with the lowest rate that they can give you. Like they go based on how many employees you have, and if you don't have any employees yet, they give you like the smallest package. So just go with that, so you can have you can be covered for workman's comp. So. But then, if you can also, for as far as your caregivers are concerned, if your state allows you to, you definitely want to check and make sure your state allows you to. You want to use independent contractors, so you don't have to get workman's comp for your caregivers. You still might need workman's comp for your staff, for the people working in the office and stuff like that. But you want to, if you can have caregivers as independent contractors, it's a lot less liability, but you got to make sure that they're insured. And a caregiver getting insured is not a bit as expensive as a company getting insured. So you can always refer them to your insurance company to get insured as a independent contractor, and even you can help them pay for that out of their paychecks. But kind of help them set up their own independent contracting situation, so they are official independent contractors. You can't just say they're independent contractors, but because they need to be insured and stuff like that. So again, check with your state and see what the actual rules are. But these are just some of the essentials that I think you guys will need moving forward, that I know you guys will need. And this might just be like a reminder for some of you guys, but for others, this might be some new information. So I just wanted to make sure you guys had all these things covered before we move any further along into the program. Thanks.